new evidence that leads me to believe it is the Scion itself that is in some strange way a vast library of information to rival even Alexandria. I am now convinced that if I can obtain it, I will finally discover what happened to my beloved Amelia.
Oh, Pierre, you litterbug.
Hello everybody, what's it here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Tomb Raider Anniversary. In the previous episode, we completed our explorations through the Tomb of Qualipec and found the first piece of the Scion. And in today's episode, I forgot to turn my TV volume down, so let me take care of that real quick. Alright then, so forget you saw anything, you saw nothing. And in today's episode, we're beginning our explorations through the St. Francis Folly. And I'm kind of sick of this intro because I've had so many field recordings. And just watch, this is going to be the recording that's going to work out smoothly because of that TV incident at the beginning of the video.
I suppose you're more of a dog person.
Natla doesn't honor her contracts, Pierre. I'd move on if I were you.
No, mademoiselle. Natla and I understand each other. I find things for her, and she rewards me handsomely. But you see the very thing she does. That is why you are not trusted.
I trust my instincts.
And that is why you are in second place. I am professional, mademoiselle. I focus on the job, and I get paid.
There's more to life than money, Pierre.
This isn't life, mademoiselle. It's business. Your compulsion prevents you from seeing the difference.
It hasn't prevented me from getting a piece of the Scion. How's business for you?
Touché. So then, why don't we see whose compulsion gets them the next piece?
Alrighty then. I'm gonna warn you guys right now, this is a really long freaking level. If you don't believe me, the time trial for this level is about an hour long. Because of that, this will be the only level in the Let's Play that will be split into 3 videos. So we're gonna be here for a little while. Alrighty then, so, and one thing I'd like to say real quick before we move on to another topic is that opening cutscene where Laura's father is narrating, that is the only direct reference made to Tomb Raider Legend when he talks about Amelia. I won't spoil anything for people who haven't seen that game yet, but I will say that is like a really interesting reference, and I'm really glad that they titled it in there because it's definitely implied that after what happened to Amelia in Tomb Raider Legend that Laura's father's career kind of went downhill because he spent the remaining career looking for Amelia. Right here is a new gameplay mechanic. This is wall running, and it is awesome and amazing. Unfortunately, it does not return in any form in... Well, maybe it does return to another word. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it doesn't appear in Tomb Raider 2013 and it makes me depressed. Also, I talked over Laura and I feel super bad. This right here, this is something that is only available in the Wii version of this game. Okay, well, not this entire puzzle, but this puzzle works differently on the non-Wii versions of this game. You actually physically shoot these things, but on the Wii version you can point at stuff. So you may be wondering, well, what am I supposed to point at? Well, we can go over here and... Oh! They gave us the solution to the puzzle! Whoa! Alright then, so we have to do this. It's not very difficult at all. I really like how they did it on the Wii version, though. I don't remember much about the non-Wii version of this game, but I remember not being a big fan of the Constellation puzzles in those versions. But, again, that was like 10 years ago, so my opinion might change now if I play those games again. But I prefer the Wii version anyway, so yeah. Anyway, we go over here and we can reveal another solution to a Constellation puzzle. It's an hourglass. Whoa. It's the Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Not really. Yay, we did it! Alright. I don't jump intentionally when Laura gets out of those things, he does it automatically. And I always think that once he does that, he's like jumping for joy, and it's pretty funny. Alright, so we go over here, and we have to make the hourglass puzzle. Alright. It's not hard, especially if you're like me and you had to record this like 12 times. Like seriously, I've been trying to record this for like 2 weeks, and it just hasn't been going that well. Mostly because of how long this level is, and it gets really tiring after a little while. So, yeah, you definitely want to take breaks frequently when you're playing through this level. So right here we can activate this globe of globiness, and it will fall off the pedestal. Hooray for gravity. Oh, it didn't fall off completely. I'm so sad now. We have to push it off. Alright, so while we go through here, I'm going to talk about some differences between this and the original Tomb Raider game. Not a whole lot. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of that throughout this location in Greece. I didn't press the button fast enough. Whoopsie doodle. Alright then, so I'm going to talk about some differences between this version and the original game. Mostly the cutscenes. Now, one thing that's pretty worth mentioning is on the PlayStation 2 version of this game, we saw Natla's building between locations. And the really interesting thing is, on the PlayStation 2 version, this area is playable, but only through a glitch. This has led to some speculation as to why exactly this happens. I don't know what triggers it, but you can accidentally cause a glitch where you can go on top of Natla's building. I don't know if this is a glitch, I don't know if this was something that was intentional. I don't know the PlayStation 2 version of this game, so I'm gonna have to double check my facts about that. If it is a glitch, I'll have captions on screen here. Yay! Alright then. But going back onto the glitch, why is that happening? I have two theories. The first theory is that that area was supposed to be playable, similar to how the outside of the mountain caves was playable in this version, but not the original. It may have been possible that Natla's building was going to be playable. The other theory that I have is that this glitch happens because of the way the cutscenes themselves are rendered. This doesn't fully explain why this only happens with the PlayStation 2 version, unfortunately. But what my theory is that these cutscenes are not pre-rendered like most games are nowadays. I believe they work similar to how the Legend of Zelda cutscenes work, where they like actually take place in real time or whatever. Like, if you notice, like in Tomb Raider Legend, how if we had like a certain type of gun in the game, then that gun would be carried over with us, or how it dropped animation would stay there in the cutscenes. I don't think that could happen if the cutscenes were pre-rendered, unless they went through a whole lot of detail, which I highly doubt they would do. But yeah, those are my theories about that. So we go through here, and we can destroy this rock thingy to get a solution to a puzzle. Again, these are exclusive to the Wii version of this game, so yeah. Again, I'm really disappointed they never made a Wii U game for the Tomb Raider series. They didn't take advantage of this because that would have been awesome. Hopefully they do that for the Switch, but I highly doubt it. And this right here is the biggest joke of a puzzle that I've ever seen in any video game ever. Maybe you may be thinking that's an slight exaggeration, but check this out. We move it once, and it solves the entire thing. We don't even need to do that rock puzzle. So, yeah, that puzzle is a freaking joke. Alright, well, going back towards the differences between the two games, there is one more thing that I'd like to talk about, specifically with St. Francis Folly. One thing that is very funny, I don't really see a whole lot of people talk about this, but in the original game, you could go into this one room that had a secret in it. And the really funny thing about this room was the fact that when you jumped on there was a slope you could jump on. I don't have a clip on screen right now of what I'm talking about, but there was a slope you could jump on, and if you didn't do your jump right, you'd bump into a wall. But the really funny thing was, you could continuously jump on the slope and hit the wall and go back and forth really fast. It was one of the funniest things that I'd ever seen in that game. I still love doing that to this day, and it's just hilarious. So, there is a level skip cheat. Well, okay, first of all, I need to show off something real quick. We look over here, and we can also see this solution to a puzzle right here. Also, there's a very great camera angle, if I'm complaining. You guys know me. Lara Croft is my waifu. What was this thing a moment ago? Yeah. There's a level skip cheat in the original Tomb Raider game. I will intentionally skip through the entirety of Peru just so that I can see that, just so that I can do the one thingy that I talked about in St. Francis Folly. I love the original Tomb Raider game. Although I will stand by what I said earlier in this Let's Play, where I said that those games haven't really aged that well. We'll get more into this a little bit later, although you probably don't need me to tell you that because you've seen what the graphics were like Not that I'm saying graphics mean everything in the game, I'm just saying that some of the stuff in that game hasn't aged very well. Again, we'll go over more of that later. And speaking of graphics, I really have to say, this entire area is just so beautiful. Like, you can really see the aging of the columns, how there's, like, moss all over the structure. It's just so beautiful. This is such a pretty game. Like, even on the Wii, this is not an HD game on the Wii, it still looks so beautiful. This game is enough to make me cry. Alright, so we want to go back over here so we can collect a reward. If you remember the solution to the puzzle earlier, we can do this. However, if you're playing on the non-Wii version of this game, the solution to this puzzle is a bit different. Now, I'm going to have this listed in the description below, but I believe the solution to the puzzle was Medusa's eye, Perseus' sword, his sword hand, the lower back, the knee, and then the foot. And I totally did that off of memory. I wasn't looking at my notes or anything like that. Alright, so I believe that was everything we can do in this area. So we can go back over here and go this way. And while we go through here, there's one more difference I'd like to talk about with this game compared to the original. I'm not going to have this on screen because I think this is something you should check out in the entirety. On the same day that I'm uploading this video, I will be uploading one cutscene from the original Tomb Raider game. Just one. This is without a doubt my favorite cutscene in that game. Not because it's necessarily good or anything like that, but because the voice acting is absolutely phenomenal during that cutscene. It is so amazing. There will be a card in the corner of the screen right here. You can click on that. But before we end the video, I want to demonstrate one last thing. Yeah, this level is freaking huge. We're going to be here for a little while. And we're going to begin our explorations of this room in the next episode. So, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Tomb Raider Anniversary. In the next episode, we're going to continue on our explorations through the St. Francis Folly. And until next time, Lady Gear to you. Oh yeah.